So we're just moving on now to look at questions, and we've had a few coming through. Elaine, the first one is for you if you're available.
Yep, sure,
Um,
go ahead.
yep. So just thinking about your slide on behavioural change, we find this aspect really interesting. And would you have an example of where you have worked with businesses in terms of behavioural change in the past?
Yeah, I think we've actually helped many companies, and a lot of it's done by the practitioners, where they basically just will go and talk with somebody or deal with the telephone inquiry about a specific issue. But we have had some companies actually recognizing that they actually needed to do behavioral change across the whole company, and approached us and said, look, could you come in and do a 2.5 hour session with 200 of our employees over a period of a couple of weeks? Yeah, we went in and we did that, and we worked with the company. We made the training session very much focused on the company's own wasted resources, and just some of those slides about the waste hierarchy and duty of care was brought into that session, and really we just we talked to them about that. Now the company didn't just work with us on this, they actually worked with other Invest in I programs as well, but by the time 12 months were up, they'd actually reduced one waste stream by over 50% and received the company thousands of pounds
Wow.
just by reducing. It was a key raw material component in what they were producing, and
Yeah.
the amount of waste that was being generated was phenomenal, compared with what they are now. They have very little of that material now having to be treated as waste. So then that was really very much looking at it holistically by the company in terms of what they needed to do, and they put a team of champions in place with representatives from each of the shifts as well, so that those people received very specific training in addition to the information sessions. But it was very much seeing the value of their staff and understanding that there was no point in them really trying to encourage people within the company to not generate waste or to handle materials more sensitively, but it actually required much more than that. So I think that's probably one of the biggest opportunities we've had, was to go in and do that kind of whole change. We've also had opportunities to go in and even just talk to a management team within a construction company, specifically about what they need to be doing in terms of managing many projects and various sites at the same time. And again, getting behavioural change right down at ground level sometimes is a particular difficulty within the construction industry, but we've seen it happen and we've seen companies achieving those benefits.
That's brilliant, Elaine. Thank you very much. It's very interesting, and seeing the importance there of behavioural change in growing a green business. Um, you mentioned as well over the course of your presentation that you're delivering virtual visits, and we've got somebody who's very interested in this. So could you tell us a bit more about that and how a company might be able to get in touch and get one of these?
Yeah, definitely. Historically, we would have been in touch by phone and gone out and visited the site and walked through the site and looked at the whole process from raw material input right through to what goes out the back doors at the end of the whole process and what's being gathered up for waste management. That just isn't possible, and it's just not safe to do it really in a lot of businesses given the current situations. We're absolutely delighted that we've worked with Invest in I and we can now do this as a virtual visit. So the practitioners are available to to have this conversation with you over the phone. They will ask specific questions around the processes that you're using, the kind of resources that you're using. They may ask some more detailed questions around the quantity of waste that you have, that kind of stuff. But it's very much just being available to the businesses. And if it can be done over a virtual platform like a webinar or Skype, or even a video call where somebody is on site and can actually walk around a particular area of the business that's causing a particular problem, then our practitioners are more than happy to be available to talk that through and then to provide them with the introductions that they need. I'm very lucky in that our team of practitioners have been home working for quite some years as it is. So home working isn't a new thing for them. The complexities of having other family members is at home working is maybe a complex issue for them, but the actually being available to businesses just remains at the same level as it always did, and we're more than happy to engage with anyone who would like to do that.
Yes, that's great to hear, Elaine. And I think a lot of people today might be interested in tapping into that support. Another question that's just come through there is in terms of resource input and outputs mapping, and the question is around how the resource matching service can help with this. So, say for instance, a business might need a little bit of support with that and might not be able to do it themselves. Is that something your practitioners could help with?
Yes, I mean, it is certainly we would be more than happy to that's part of what the advisory visit or the virtual visit is all about, is it looking at the whole business model, and very much looking at where the resources are coming in and where the waste streams are being generated. I suppose that the most obvious example is looking at there's no point in having a skip beside one element of a production process where the cardboard isn't actually needed to be collected.
Yeah.
That bin isn't going to end up with cardboard in it. It's going to end up with other waste streams in it. So the practitioners are just a fresh pair of eyes coming in and looking at the whole process. They're not there to be judgmental or critical. They're there to be supportive and to encourage efficiencies and to encourage continuous improvement within every organisation. And that's very much the slant in which they take. So yes, our team would be available to help either provide that, or even if they want a specific piece of work done, then that might well be something that we would refer back into Invest in I, or
Fantastic.
elsewhere if there's support and help for that.
Yeah, I suppose just in addition to answering that question, alongside Lane, our technical consultancy
Mhm.
service marries up with some of the support that Lane's team offers, and if you want a specific map out of your resources, we can do that through the technical consultancy support and the resource matching area. Elaine, just one more question has come through here, and it's around, is there any company size limit or sector limit to access this service? And I know I can answer it, but I know you can so much better.
Yeah, no, we will work with businesses of all shapes and sizes, from one-man bands right up to the multinationals. We're available for everybody, and the team are very passionate about what we do, and I think that becomes quite evident when you're talking with them. It can be hard to get us to stop talking sometimes, but certainly we'll work with businesses of all shapes and sizes, and if they're based in Northern Ireland, that's the primary focus of what we're doing here,
Mhm.
and we're more than happy to talk to you.
Yeah, and I think it's also interesting. The question was around also, particular sectors, and I know you've always said in the past that the really interesting thing about this service is that the materials can flow across sectors, and can be really useful where you wouldn't necessarily expect. Would you have an example of this by any chance, or maybe taking
Yeah,
you off
yeah, I
guard?
do actually. We had one company based up in the northwest that had to change one of its raw materials, and ended up with a consignment, a pallet load of this material that had never been used before. It was actually a kind of salt, and they didn't know what to do with it, and they got in touch with us, and we were able to find them a solution within the boiler cleaning sector down in Belfast, where
Okay.
that salt was they were able the company in Belfast was actually able to take that material at a fraction of a cost, even though it had never been used before. It was brand new, it was still in
Yeah.
unopened packs, but it was a valuable raw material for that other company. So yeah, that works across sectors. A lot of the work, I mean, the example with Camden is another one. That's not just about plastic, that's about
Mhm.
taking from construction projects, even housing executive projects where they're
Yeah.
going in and changing windows in a whole housing development. Again, that's the same kind of thing. You're
Yeah.
working with the construction sector and with a manufacturer to find solutions for one sector's waste becomes another sector's raw material. And that's the beauty about industrial symbiosis. It can be scaled up just as much as it can be scaled down to one single resource, to many resources.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think that is the beauty of this service, and we do encourage everybody to get in touch, because there's probably something in there that you don't expect, and a benefit that you might not have expected to achieve. Um, I suppose I'm just looking at the time, and I think it's time to wrap up for today. And we're really delighted to have been able to present to the audience today, and we're delighted that you've spent your time coming on with us. Um, we've answered as many questions as we can, and we hope you found it useful and informative. And if you've got anything further, please get in touch. And I do encourage you to contact us about our support. We're here to help businesses. So thank you very much.